Gary Peterson here. Today we're going to talk about people's body motion and what they do and just how you can hurt people, how you can tear them apart if you know how to do it. What happens if I was to play a shot here? I'd come back and then I'd come back and you generally land. And then you can move any direction and off you go. Now you don't do that until your opponent strikes the ball. So what happens is your opponent strikes the ball now and then off I go. Because when all my body motion is going downwards, I'm really, really fast to take off. So when I push that foot down, I can really push off it. So the analogy I use is like the tennis returning serve. They're going to return serve and they stand there and they go backhand, forehand, whichever way. And just as their opponent serves it, you see they lift their body up and there, off they go. That there allows them to do that. There, there. So they land just as they strike the ball, just as they need to make the split decision. It's no different in squash. What happens here is you need to understand how to break that apart. And the high level people, what they do is they change the time between their step and their hit, so that when they come back and they go, and then they hit, because the person here has gone like that, and then it still hasn't been hit. And they're on this bounce up and haven't made a decision of which way to go yet. So all of a sudden, a lot of things become open. And you can tear somebody apart, because to actually do this and then go, it's just really difficult. To actually do a double bounce is quite a difficult thing. And you'll see that people go like this, and they'll do those little shuffles and all sorts of things like that. But that's really taxing on them as well. It's really doing some serious work at the same time. So if you can understand what people do, understand how they use their body, how they get into position, how they cover shots, and then you work out methods to break that down so you can hurt them, it changes the way you play. It just changes your whole perception on what you're capable of. That's why it's pointless hitting the ball harder. Well, it is good sometimes, but if you can actually take people out by holding your shot and putting the ball there, your target, instead of being such a small area on the court, becomes such a big area on the court. It becomes unbelievable. It is a little bit of high level stuff, but I just want you to understand where it's at. When you first start to understand body motion, what your opponent's body motion is and what your body motion is, then you start to get clever. Then you start to use that in a game and your game changes. It's just a wonderful thing. It's just a great way to go. So there you go. That's what people do. They come back here, they'll hit a shot, they'll come back and they'll bang, land just as you strike. If you can change the time you strike, then it makes it really difficult for your opponent. Great skill. High level, it's just good fun to try and understand it all. Once you understand it, it becomes a great weapon for you to use if you can do it.